Thank you. Thank you very much, and welcome to Junket Jam Live, filmed right here in the United States of immigrant baby snatchers. Unlike Washington, we here at Junket Jam, we welcome everyone with open arms, but not open legs, okay? Because it's not that kind of party. I would like to give a big thank you very much to our studio audience for joining us. Thank you very much for joining me. Now, as the host, I really appreciate having an audience here because there's a really good chance that at least one of you will leave something valuable behind. I like that very much. Now, a production like this takes a lot of work, you know, to put together, and I feel like I definitely deserve a prize at the end of it. But now, just in case anyone does leave something behind, our lost and found guidelines are very simple, okay? You lose it, I sell it on eBay. It happens, you know, people are just so forgetful. I remember as a child, my mother would always run around screaming, "Oh my God, where did I leave my kids?" Of course, she knew where we were. She just enjoyed filling out missing persons reports rather than be at home with us. But now, to be fair to her, at home, we had her outnumbered because, you know, in bed, she was a slot machine. What can I say? My mother was a hot piece of ass. I also think it's fair to say that once you start referring to your mother as a hot piece of ass, it's time to move on to the next joke. Now, being a parent is not easy, right? Because having children is challenging. And if you have more than one child, odds are you've already forgotten all their names by now. Though there were 6 of us, my mother called us all by the same name. Please leave me alone. Now, not many people know this, but I do have a twin. And just like me, she's real pretty. No one was more surprised than my mother. 2 daughters for the price of 1 cesarean. Now, my sister and I are obviously different sexes. She's a woman. I'm an idiot. But I'm very glad my mother didn't get a sonogram at the time when she was pregnant with us, because had she known she was going to have twins, we probably would have ended up as back-to-back abortions instead. It's like what my grandmother used to always say, God makes no mistakes, but you know, some of his work could use a little editing. Now, me and my sister are paternal, but people still ask us always if we look alike, which we don't because she was circumcised. Thank you. Actually, my sister looks like my father, and I look like my mother could have done a lot better for herself. My sister is beautiful, though. Especially on the days when she's not stenciling in her eyebrows. Sometimes my sister isn't my sister at all. She's an Etch-a-Sketch. Now, I can't really describe what my sister looks like, but I can tell you this. Sometimes she looks like she gets makeup tips from a Batman villain. Now, because we're twins, obviously, we had to share a birthday. And I don't know if any of you have ever been to a little Puerto Rican girl's quinceañera before, but if you have, then you know it was also her baby shower. which was always unfair for me because no one ever celebrated what came out of me after unprotected sex. Glitter, by the way. Now, for our 18th birthday, we had separate cakes. A stripper popped out of hers, but the only thing that jumped out of my cake was a roach. Oh. Yeah, it was gross. The cake, not the roach. The roach actually did us all a favor. But I don't know, sometimes I really feel guilty about birthdays because I feel like nowadays people celebrate their birthdays like it's something they accomplished all by themselves, when really it just so happens that it was by chance that their mother didn't miscarry. That's all that happened. The only reason anyone ever even remembers our birthdays is because Facebook tells them to. We actually owe our birthdays to our mothers. She's the one who got through an entire 9 months without ever giving in to the temptation of throwing herself down a flight of stairs. We should all stop being selfish and start celebrating our moms on our birthdays too. Unless you were adopted, then every day is a celebration for your birth mother. But you know who else we owe a thank you to? Jesus. It's odd. Stay with me. Not only do we get a gift on our birthday, but on Jesus' birthday, we get another one. And what does Jesus get in return? Nothing, right? All that credit goes to Santa. Can you imagine how that must make Jesus feel? Jesus was a miracle worker. Do you know how hard it must have been for Jesus to convince God's chosen people that he was the King of Jews without having any money? That's a miracle. I can't even convince my own dog that I'm her owner. And I buy her stuff all the time. And that's not all. Poor Jesus' life was sacrificed by God, his Father, so that we may live. So they say, I can't really corroborate any of that. And what about Mary? It's not like she had any say in the matter. Can you imagine a mother coming home to find her son missing, and all his father can say, well, you know, yeah, I hope you don't mind. I gave our son's life away. It was for the greater good of the world. Right? She would have been pissed. Anyway, that's how sharing a birthday with my sister feels sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for letting me share that. I'm actually real happy for my sister. She's been doing really great. She's made bail. I don't know, these days I feel like we're less like twin siblings and more like twin mattresses, right? Because I look like I still sleep on one, and she's just been stained really badly. The good news is, though, guys, we have a really great show for you, and we've got a very special guest today joining me, so please stick around. This is Junker Jam Live. Thank you so very much. Thank you.